Hey everybody, it's Comic Crack. Join me, won't you? Deep in the woods of Northern Ontario. I wanted to make a short video. I've wanted to kind of talk about this for a little while, but I don't know, it just never seems really right, but I guess I'm just in the mood for it now. Just a little something I wanted to get off my chest. I've been around now on YouTube for about 3 years, and I've made all sorts of claims and talked all sorts of nonsense and all sorts of things. But I have a confession to make. I've never read this entire book. I've looked through it plenty of times, but I've never actually sat down and read it. So there's a lot of stories in here that I just have not dove into. It collects a bunch of the strange tales. Actually, I think 168 was the last Strange Tales. 169 was the Doctor Strange Volume 1, I guess what it's called. So this is all the Strange Tales, Doctor Strange stories in one book. I remember when I bought it, those of you that are familiar with the Marvel Essential series, it was sealed, and I had been reading through all the 70s Doctor Strange stuff that I had from, I guess, Volume 2. I don't know if Marvel Premiere is considered Volume 2, or if, I don't know. Anyway. And I remember when I opened it up, I was a bit disappointed that the entire thing was black and white. Part of the appeal of The Good Doctor and Ditko's art specifically was all this kind of otherworldly stuff that he threw in there and the colors that went along with it. I'm really rediscovering my love for that stuff in The Shade the Changing Man that I bought the other day. I think I got 3 or 4 issues into it before I left for work. And part of the draw on that is not only his art, but the coloring is unbelievable in that series. I'm sure I'll have more Shade the Changing Man news as time goes on. I'm really digging that first series quite a bit, and really excited. I'll just throw this in there. I'm really excited for Shade the Changing Girl and everything that DC is going to be doing on this new little sub-line, I guess. I don't know. I think there's, 4 titles coming out this year. By the end of the year, there will be 4 titles. Anyway, that's a side note. So I think I was partially disappointed that it was black and white, and now on reading this, I was a fucking moron, because it's great that it's black and white. You can really see what the hell he was doing. And I mean, part of these collections, you know, there's a few things that are a huge draw. One of them is seeing an artist kind of evolve throughout a series as he gets a handle on the character, and maybe the character gains more popularity or what have you. It's also really nice to see the development of a character, that's for sure, especially these first bunch of stories. What I didn't realize that it wasn't until like issue 115 that his origin story came out. So the fourth, I guess the 4th appearance of Doctor Strange was his origin story. And what I also didn't know was that issue 112 and 113 of Strange Tales, there was no Doctor Strange story in those at all. They say in here it was because they wanted to see some of the reader responses to the stories, and I guess the response was huge, and the outpouring of love for the character was pretty big. So they came back with a 3rd story, and then decided, people had been asking, look at that panel, that's so great. People had been saying that they had neglected to tell his origin story, so with the 4th appearance they told his origin story, which is right here. So there's the cover, and there he is there with a fantastic page. There was another panel in here that I really love as well. Who the hell is that guy? That's so great. Stephen Strange before he became Doctor Strange, when he was a doctor. This story is also interesting because, I mean, he's a Western doctor, and I guess, you know, resides in the United States. And his big concern was money, and sorry, if you can't pay me my money, I can't help you. And then he kind of discovers a little more Eastern philosophies and changes his ways, which I find an interesting little footnote. Yeah, it's been a hell of a lot of fun, and honestly, with my love of strange tales lately, actually I'll keep flipping through that while I talk. With my love of strange tales lately, it's really tough to decide what I want to go for when the big convention comes. I know that I want to buy some big books. Obviously, Daredevil is right at the tops of that list, but honestly, so are these Strange Tales books. They're pretty high up there. And again, with this kind of renowned or renewed love of Ditko, so is Beware the Creeper, so is Hawk and Dove. I think both of those are, Beware the Creeper lasted 6 issues, right? And did Hawk and Dove last 6 as well, or did that last 8? I know Shade was only 8. Anyway, those have, I think they're both 6 actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Those have really piqued my interest. I wouldn't mind getting some of those, or one of those, or whatever, whatever I can afford, depending on what's left in my big comic convention bank account, which I've dipped into a little bit.